Welcome to the Build Guild podcast, a professionally unprofessional podcast for makers. I'm Jo, and I'm guest hosting today.
From Make.Do extraordinaire.
Yeah, Make.Do.
Tell us what Make.Do is.
All right, Make.Do is a nonprofit that uses creativity, that's the make, as a way to engage community with like connection and compassion. That's the do. So,
Are you doing this every day?
yeah, it's full time for me now. So this year is the first time it's full time.
Have you had jobs last year, I guess?
Yeah, kind of like more like jobs that I was hanging on to because I wasn't quite sure if I could do it full time. But then I ended up having to pay taxes. So then I just shouldn't have had the extra jobs. So
Is that
anyway,
how that worked out?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
But now it's full time.
So I'm in a position where like I'm kind of part-time and I'm kind of on the brink of I probably should pay taxes or be a business. Like where were you at that point? You know what I mean?
Well,
when do you turn a side hustle that's like a little cash in your pocket to
it's different for me because Make.Do is a business separate than me. So I get a salary from Make.Do.
Okay.
So because I get a paycheck, there's a paper trail.
Yes.
So then you have to pay taxes when there's a paper trail.
So it is a nonprofit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you have a board and all that, right?
I have a board. So two of them are local, and then one of them is not.
Do you find that bored? Did you go?
Do I find it boring?
No. Did you go out and find the people to be on your board?
Yeah.
I want you to, blah, whatever.
When I first started, I was living in Dallas, and so I found people who cared about me. And then, they said yes to be on my board, but it wasn't because they necessarily felt connected to Make.Do.
Yeah.
And so when I moved to Searcy and I needed to find new board members, it was more important. Obviously, I want them to like me, but also be invested in the work that we do with Make.Do and be able to help with that. So
right,
nice.
Yeah. Are they in there with you doing stuff, or are they hands off?
They are hands-on when I need help. So like last night there was a Beats and Eats. So my board, they talk to strangers better than I do. So then they stand at my booth for Beats and Eats and I like sit back in the corner.
Oh, that's awesome.
Until someone comes up and asks a question that then they'll be like, Jo can tell you.
Okay.
And so then I'll talk more, but they're my social buffers. So they help with things like that. Yeah. And then they're heavily involved more on the fundraising side of things. So like we have an annual fundraiser, they help a lot with that. And more the strategic planning, making sure that the things that are taking up my time are also the things that are in line with Make.Do's mission and that sort of thing. So.
The mission is
using creativity as a way to create shared experience within our community. So go ahead.
You're doing that with what, I guess? With what medium, I guess?
What does that look like in the room day to day?
Yeah, so we do anything creative. So I have 10 sewing machines in Make.Do studio. We do a lot of sewing. I teach 6-week quilting classes for adults. I teach sewing classes for kids. And then pretty much any other creativity thing. Like you could come teach a wood burning class. Or
I love to start fires. Yes.
Yeah. We'll have a fire making class.
That would be cool.
So hand embroidery, watercolor, lettering, needle felting, macrame. Today we did a lap loom weaving class.
Are you a pro at all of this stuff?
No.
Like every single one of these classes are taught by you?
Like you've reached out to special makers. Like I know Claire for watercolor. I think I remember that. Okay.
So I like to bring people in to teach class as much as possible. Okay. Because then it's not something that I'm having to teach myself. And it gives people a way to engage with community.
Pulling in more of the makers.
Yeah. Well, and I think, not to make this political or about women or church or whatever, but sometimes as a woman, you don't know where you can fit in or how you can not serve, but like, use your gift and use your voice. And so that is... just another avenue of what Make.Do is for, is to give particularly women a place to see that thing they like to do, their hobby or their craft or whatever, is valuable and they can teach other people.
Nice.
What % is of the people that come to Make.Do is women, I guess, and then maybe the age ranges.
Yeah,
what's that?
It's like 99% women, but not. I don't want Make.Do to be a women's thing. It's just that. So far, that's what it's attracted.
Yeah.
So come do some things.
Come start some fires.
Yeah.
Right, fellas. Come on down to Make.Do. We're gonna start fires.
We're gonna make
we
some
should
hunting
definitely team
knives.
up and do something.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but something for sure.
Skin a rabbit.
So one of my favorite things we did was a daddy-daughter craft around Valentine's Day. So we did string art with, nails and hammers.
Yeah.
So the dads brought their girls. It was bring your own hammer. And they just sat together and
that is awesome.
Nailed hammers into a heart. And those dads were brave because they just held the nails while those girls nailed the hammer.
Yeah.
And then they wrapped it with string and they got their pictures taken, their daddy-daughter portraits and stuff. So
that's an amazing idea.
Yeah.
That's really, really good.
I've seen some of that on Instagram with not women. I've seen a lot of people doing like the state and then doing some weird home or something like that. That's really cool. If I had a daughter, I would have went.
Yeah. It's good because there aren't many things that put us in like close in proximity to each other. So even if I played catch in the front yard with my dad all the time, but logistically that puts space between you.
Right.
But when you're sitting right next to your dad because you're working on the same project, it's just a little bit different.
That is true. That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
What brought you to start Make.Do? Like what were you doing before, and then you're like,
I've done a lot of my 20s. My education in my 20s were very chaotic, and I did a lot of different experience. So I went to Harding. I was an interior design major. Brian and I actually did a group project together in college.
Yep.
Did you have to pull the weight for him?
Obviously. Look,
I'm not even paying attention. I'm just drawing what I want to draw over
here. Do
here.
you have to pull the weight for him on the podcast?
Every time.
Yep. And then I got an MBA, and then I've never used either of those. I guess until now.
Because we might have been in the same classes, and I got one too.
Maybe.
And I am an exterminator full time. So
we should really stop mentioning that because Harding's going to be like, we have a useless MBA program.
True.
Great MBA program.
Yeah. Use this for their commercial.
Yeah. So anyway, I ended up in Ireland and doing mission work. And while I was there was a youth camp that we were involved in Northern Ireland. And one year I was given the difficult girls. One of them, the year before, one girl shaved another girl's eyebrow off while she was sleeping.
Nice.
And they were both in my tent this second year. So I was a little terrified for my eyebrows. And I was scared of them. I mean, they were 14, but 14-year-old girls, they're
in Northern
scary.
Ireland, they know how to make Molotov cocktails and
that's it.
Isn't that how they roll?
Pretty much. But so anyway, at the end of camp, we all survived. We all left with our eyebrows. But they asked if I would be their counselor next year. And when I said yes, the girl who asked said, "Really? Because no one ever wants us."
Oh, wow.
So then they got really bold and asked if they could come stay with me in Dublin. And I said yes because it was 5 hours on the train. And I thought, there's no way they will. Well, then they came and stayed with me for 9 days.
Oh, God. How many?
3.
3 14-year-old girls who spent the summer with you just came and...
Yeah.
Wow.
Brian, you're going to have 3 14-year-old girls?
No, not all at once. It'll be 12, 14, and 16. So.
Yeah. Well. So I was just trying to come up with stuff to do to keep them busy so they wouldn't be smoking and loitering outside of my apartment.
Good for you.
Shaving eyebrows off. And so we sewed pillow covers like with strips of fabric. And I thought they would roll their eyes and hate it and not want to do it. But we spent the whole day. They went through the entire creative process. So, you're overwhelmed at the beginning. You don't know exactly where to start. You have too many choices. You narrow it down. You find the stuff you like. You learn a new skill. So none of them knew how to sew. So they start sewing on the sewing machine. Of course, they mess up. So then there's that kind of frustration. They have to get the seam ripper out, start over. And at the end of the day, they had finished their pillows. So we took pictures because they're good 14-year-olds and posted on Facebook. And we spent that entire evening of them logging on Facebook, looking at, counting all the likes and reading all the comments. And I saw them go from that idea at camp a few years before of no one ever wants us to this new realization that they had made something that people were wanting, that people saw value in. And that got reflected back onto them. I mean, it was fleeting because the next day they woke up and, it was
14-year-old girls.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was the first time that I recognized the impact creativity has on our souls, like on a deep level. And I had never heard anyone talk about creativity and faith, but I think that creativity, I would argue that it's the most fundamental aspect of God's image in humanity. So that means we're all creative. And I don't think you have to be a believer in a creator to still see that kids are creative. Every kid is creative. And then something happens along the way that disconnects us from that. And that's a lie, that thing that tells us we're not creative. So I think the process of engaging creativity restores us back to who we were created to be in the garden. So things like identity and value and purpose, all of that gets restored through the act of creativity because we're connecting with the divine in us.
I have to say it's an interesting thought because I teach art now here in town, here in Searcy, and I started in high school, so 15 through 18, and that was not easy some days because what you said happened at some point. It happened for many of them. They didn't want to do what we had to do in the art room. And now I'm in 5th and 6th grade, and practically all of them still think they're artists and makers. And I don't have to, some of them I'll put paper and pencil down and they'll start a fire on their desk. They're going so fast. I don't have to show them anything. So taking those 14-year-old girls, you were right there in that weird gray area where we're growing up, we're all awkward, and suddenly we care about what everyone's thinking about us, and we don't really have time to be free and make things and be creative. So that was an amazing place to start with that.
Yeah. I see it in the classes we teach at Make.Do. So I teach sewing to kids and I teach sewing to adults. And with the kids, I don't have to convince them that they can do it. They have so much creative courage, and they come in and what's the new project? And I could tell them, you're going to make your prom dress. And they would be like, yes, I've been wanting to do that. I have 5 ideas already. So they will do anything. With the kids, I have to slow them down, and we have to practice a little bit more on precision and not being perfect, but just making sure we don't sew our fingers and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's important.
But with the adults, I have to convince them every night that they can do it. And so we make a quilt and it takes us 6 weeks, and everyone at the beginning thinks, I don't think I can do this. So then I have to convince them. Well, I don't convince them. They just do it. And then at the end of 6 weeks, they've done it.
So you just keep reaffirming them that they can do that.
Yeah.
Also, like what you said about the creativity and the soul being linked. One of the greatest things I love is, when they're in the wilderness and Moses and they're talking about the tabernacle and all the things to build it and all the things going into it. There's a ton of people that it must have taken to build that huge tent, right? But he only mentions 2 names, and it's the craftsman, the stone craftsman, and the wood craftsman. Those 2 guys are the only, by name, creative artists that are mentioned when they're talking about building the tabernacle. And it's because they had these gifts, and they were using it for that purpose. So there's I love how there's that tie of spirituality there.
It's really sad to become an adult and lose that. Are we taught that to come out of us because the adults are teaching us not to be a child. I thought that the other day when we went to Chick-fil-A this morning, and the kids just went into the play place, and I said, you know any friends in there? He's like, no, but I played with all these other kids, and we just automatically started playing hide and seek. It's that kind of thing that I love when he says, bring the child to me, and it's that. It's sad becoming an adult. And I think a lot of the bigger responses I get on Instagram when I post something is my failures. And people are like, oh, I've been there. I did that. It's rarely you're an idiot. But that's what we're afraid of, to fail as an adult, I guess, and let everybody else know we failed. Right. And the bigger responses is when you show it and everybody's like, oh, you're human just like me.
Yeah, because that's part of the shared experience. And so Make.Do's logo is a lemon. And the reason is because the cliche of Make.Do, even though the name doesn't come from, well, I guess I'll just make do. Because it's more positive than that. But the cliche is, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade.
That's awesome. I never thought of that.
That, that process of making lemonade out of lemons is creativity. Like you're taking something sour and you're combining it with other things and you're making it sweet. And then you don't go make your pitcher of lemonade and sit in the corner with a straw and like drink it all to yourself. You pour it out, you share it, you invite people in. So our creativity isn't just for us. The process, the things we're making is for others.
I'm just amazed at that whole analogy that you just threw out there. That's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Joe, you got a sermon.
You do.
Well,
you're in your platform.
Go, Make.Do.
Women can preach.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can.
Yeah. Yep. So
when you started it, how did that, you got a place to go into? Did you just full on make the jump from, side thing working to quit everything and full on go?
It was hard for me. So, I was coming back from Ireland and I knew so the idea kind of was born or whatever. I still had a year and a half left in Ireland. So I did some kind of played around with it in Ireland. I worked with an organization who served women who were involved in prostitution. So most of them had been trafficked into Ireland. I went in once a week and sewed with them. And then you realize these women they know how to sew. So they've been sewing their clothes forever. And so then I would say, oh, well, how did you do this in Africa or whatever? So we were able to learn from each other and it kind of levels the social playing field, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came back, my parents live in Dallas. I moved in with them. And for 2 years, it was a trudge. It was, we were talking about the Enneagram earlier, but now that I understand that, it helps me make sense of how icky those 2 years felt to me, because I had this idea and I just didn't know how to get started. And I wanted to, I like to be the best, or I like the things that I do to look well done, or like I know what I'm doing, and I had no clue what I was doing. And so it took me probably 4 months to come up with a name. And finally my dad was like, Joe, you have got to come up with a name. Just name it. Every obstacle felt like the biggest. Some things weren't even obstacles. They just were like, here's the next decision. And it felt like something too big for me to climb over. So I was there for 2 years and named it. And then a couple months later started teaching classes. But I didn't have a space. Dallas is expensive, so I couldn't afford a space. So I was driving to churches and teaching sewing classes. So I had all 10 of my sewing machines and all of the fabric and ironing boards and stuff to cut. And then I would carry it in. We'd teach the class. I'd take it back. So it was ridiculous. And people are so busy, and there wasn't that other aspect of wanting to connect or wanting to build community.
So how did you start that? Did you just approach churches and said, here's what I'd like to do? Can I use the sanctuary or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And just provoked enough interest on your own. Okay.
And with people that, someone in a church who's like, oh yeah, we could teach that class, or we'd do that class.
Yeah. Did you start out doing it for free?
No. But I charged way more there than I charge here.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Dallas.
Because typically we all, I don't know, I feel like when I first started doing it, I almost handed stuff out because it was like, am I worth something?
Yeah, I'm still trying to quit that.
I'm getting Brian over that because he's way undercutting what he's worth.
Usually.
But that's good for you. If you just went in and be like, this is what I'm worth, what's up?
But it's hard to value your own work. But
super hard.
Make.Do, it
You're
is
making
me.
them work.
Right.
You're going to work and give me money.
Yeah. It's not.
I like how she thinks.
It's not as hard for me to charge on behalf of Make.Do. What's been hard is for me to then pay myself.
Yourself. That's the double-edged sword.
But not to get people to pay for class.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So then, anyway, I ended up I've been in Cersei 3 years. Since you asked.
Okay. Yes.
I've been in Cersei 3 years.
Did you come back to Cersei
to do this?
Straight up, you got a space.
It took me about 9 months. I adjuncted a class at Harding.
Oh.
Was it a sewing class?
It was not. It was in the interior design
Okay.
department. It was their computer like drafting class, which was a program that I had not taken. So I was
And
watching
you're teaching
YouTube.
another,
Anyone involved in higher
nice.
education, quit listening.
That's awesome.
Another.
No, that
Or they're all like, yeah, we get it. That's what we do.
I
too.
remember stories like that though when I was at Harding, and we would go to ad firms in Dallas. Actually, I remember one trip, and they would tell us, "Here's where I started." They told me, back in the day, I had to learn Quark or something, and I learned it in 3 nights, not sleeping, and got the job. And so that actually, I mean, that's a fire you just lit and got it done. So
I would watch YouTube videos.
yeah.
And then go teach the class. And then I worked it into the syllabus that if you have a question and you don't know what to do, you have to prove to me that you found 3 YouTube videos showing you how to do it, and you still don't know how to do it. And then I will
ask me.
Yeah, so it was
so you
more
can
like
explain to me what you've just seen.
Cite your references and email them the night before. So we can watch
So
them.
one of the objectives of the class was that people would be able to also answer their own questions through the power of Google and YouTube, because that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I taught that class, and then I moved into our space in March of 2017.
Okay.
So we've been there 2 years.
How big is it?
It's about 1,500 square feet.
That's pretty big.
It's big, but also I'm upstairs. I'm pretty much in just a glorified landing. So you go upstairs, and then there's Make.Do, and then there's a photography studio with that's closed.
That's crazy.
So I'm not closed off to the downstairs at all. It just was like a weird nothing space.
Yeah. And
so
then what's
that
below
made my
you?
rent cheap. An art studio and a music store.
Okay.
Studio.
I have no idea where you are.
I'm on Art Street,
on Art
across from
Street.
Art Alley.
It's downtown.
Okay. I kind of know where
Do you know where
are.
Center on the Square is?
Yes.
The theater? I'm right next door to them.
Okay.
It's funny. I know where you are just because I've had to go to Zoe Photography.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, did I just walk through Make.Do?
Yeah, you did.
and I did. I was like, oh, that's cool.
People are just walking through your
Yeah.
place.
Just walk.
That's
So do you
maybe
get
that's
people
good.
that
You
just
get-
like walk through your class and it's like, am I in the right place?
Yeah. Or
And
they'll
then they
come
walk through
upstairs,
and
and if
Have a seat. You're like that guy from Dateline.
If-
Have a seat.
please, right here.
Start sewing.
If the photographers aren't there yet, then they have to wait, and so then it's really awkward. I'm like, you don't feel like you have to talk to me, please, because I don't want to feel like I have to talk to you. I don't know. My social buffers are
Not
here.
force the conversation. My board's not here.
Yeah, I can't do it.
That's awesome.
Spoken like a true creative.
Yeah. Wow.
What's the plan for Make.Do? Is it you're at a space of you can have so many per class
Mhm.
if you're got one teacher? Can you get bigger? Do you want to get bigger?
So yeah, we're looking to move to a different space. I want 2 rooms, so we would have a sewing room set up all the time. The sewing machines would be out, and then we would have another room, and we would increase the kids classes that we offer. So I'm actually looking to hire someone soon.
First employee.
Nice.
Cody's gonna
So-
have that problem too at some point.
Yeah, I think organic's gonna tank. So can you hire me?
Yes, you
The
can.
show did not help you.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, he's kidding. He just gave us a bunch of free
I'm
stuff
kidding.
with his logo all over it.
I'm
He's doing
kidding.
fine.
I'm doing fine. I'm actually gonna go teach at Harding. I got YouTube videos to
Yeah,
watch
that's
tonight.
right.
All right, there you go.
There you go.
YouTube University
Yeah.
to teach it the real one. So you're having a problem where you don't have enough spots for all the kids?
I don't have enough time to teach everything and also do everything else that happens for Make.Do. And my passion, I guess, is to find ways that we can engage with the community, partner with other organizations. So like next weekend, so I don't know when this is going to air, but next weekend we are having, I'm calling it Camp Createful, and it's for foster girls and then girls who have been referred by the Child Safety Center. So teens who have experienced some trauma.
Yeah.
And they'll come spend 3 days with me at Make.Do. So we'll stay on campus at Harding, and then we'll go to Make.Do, and we'll do creative activity combined with personal reflection and group discussion. So I'm working with the licensed therapist. We've got a whole curriculum that we've built. So we'll do the creative thing and then tie that into...
You are a true, like, heart and soul and product.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's you really meshed everything. I had no idea. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed. I haven't seen any of it, but
Well,
listening to you talk about it, it's amazing.
I could talk about it all night. How long do we have?
40 more minutes. So,
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Tell us
we're
more.
Good.
So last year we went, I went to a pay what you can model. So all of our classes, I have a suggested fee, and then everything is pay what you can.
Wow.
So on the quilting class, the suggested fee is $150. And then I have people who pay nothing. I have people who pay $25, $50. A few people will pay more than the suggested fee, but it just means that anybody can come participate in what is happening at Make.Do.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not exclusive. You don't have to be able to afford it to come get the experience.
So that as a business model is really, that's working.
Well, I'm a nonprofit. So that means I can also get charitable giving and donations and stuff.
So augmented with donations. That's
if Make.Do were not a nonprofit, I wouldn't be able to charge only $150 for a quilting class.
okay.
And if I were charging more for a quilting class, Make.Do could not be in Cersei. Like, it's just a weird, we want to make creativity affordable and accessible. And if people don't think they can do it, why would they pay $300 to come take a class on something that they don't think they can do?
You're right. Mm.
So
But you've found that balance. You found where you need to be. Well, there's that MBA.
there you go.
You're
Thanks,
using it.
Harding.
Plus some experience beforehand.
Yeah. Do you think if you were in a bigger city, you could be nonprofit easily and grow? Do you think that would be a bigger change? Like make more money, I guess, if you were in a bigger city with the model change? I
don't know that the model would change. I think it would be scaled up, possibly.
Okay.
But in a larger community, you might lose that community.
Right. Because there was not, like in Dallas, Cersei just has an infrastructure for community because it's small here. So you're likely to run into someone you know. Like if during the school year I go to Walmart on Brian's lunch break, I'm going to probably see him walking in.
It's where I see all my students.
Using the internet.
Teachers.
But I didn't know. But see, once you said that on the podcast, it made sense. I thought that's why I
always see him
probably saw Brian there all the time when I would go to Walmart.
Punched in his internet corner.
So you...
Instagramming, leave me alone on the Lego aisle.
The Lego aisle. Yes.
So it's likely you're going to run into someone you know here.
Yeah.
So if you take a class at Make.Do, it's likely that you will see that person again at some point, and then you will say, I know you, didn't we take that class together? And now you have shared experience to have a conversation on.
And that's the best advertising you could possibly have. Like, do you advertise at all? Because you have so many connections, it seems like you wouldn't really even need to.
No, I guess Insta stories are my advertising.
Your Instagram is pretty much all you do?
I've gotten stopped in Hobby Lobby a few times. People say, you're that Make.Do lady.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You have that experience.
Yeah.
Cody's going to get that experience when his show comes out.
No, they'll be like, I think your face looks
familiar.
familiar.
They can be like, you're that guy that did the Broga with Ty. Ty.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked our Instagram, did I post it on mine or our Instagram? I reposted. And check his Instagram too. I reposted they were doing yoga together with Ty Pennington.
Yeah.
They're like best buds now.
We were doing the Brotus flower.
Yeah.
Yep.
Flying way up high.
So tell us about, you guys have the common connection of the TV show. Because you applied as well.
There.
So that was even funny because I walk in, I didn't know really anybody. But Jo is like the friendliest person. And I love how she keeps saying like she needs a buffer for social.
She's hanging in the corner.
But she's like the friendliest person. That's why people talk to you, Jo. If you just put a scowl on your face, people will leave you alone.
Well, I do have a scowl. But it's not hard to smile on Insta story for 15 seconds. You know?
Yeah.
But
anyway, so like we walked in. Jo was the only person that like I was really talking to. Because still didn't feel like I belonged in that room because I was in my garage.
You didn't know anyone before you went into the group
other
of things, right?
Amelia and Josie from Savor and Sit, but I don't think they were even there yet. They were running late.
Because were you already sitting down? And I came and sat with you. It was the beard. It made you look friendly.
Yeah. Yeah, I got resting beard face.
Friendliness. My work won't let me have any facial hair. I can only have it on the weekend.
Yeah. Well, what's the excuse for the top?
Yeah. Just running. Yeah, I told them if I can't have it up here, at least let me have it down here.
Yeah.
They said no.
So, but I do want to know. So the small business revolution, but then there's the Cersei Fund, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were doing something for the 6 runner-up. What have they done anything yet? Or
First, we should say you were one of the runner-ups.
That's right.
So there was 12, right?
Yeah.
They 12. chose 12.
12.
And you were one of the 6 that didn't get chosen.
Right.
So you're not the worst business in Cersei. Congratulations.
Well, no,
I know.
really. 200 and how many businesses applied and were reviewed, right?
And I was the
you
worst.
That's right.
Cody made the top worst. No,
Yeah.
Cody made the top 6.
I was one of the top
Make.Do
6
was
worst businesses, yes.
Okay.
So does that mean Make.Do is one of the top 12?
That's right. Make.Do was more solvent than organic. They didn't need the help.
Well, yeah.
You're doing something right. That's all.
Doing
Take it as a compliment.
Obviously, she's doing something right.
Yeah.
She brings people in, makes them work, and they pay her. I don't get how.
Wow.
Yeah,
that
you need to
But
run
they
that
get to
business
take
model.
home what they make. I don't make them work for me so then I can sell what they make.
Like, come here and make this
Yeah.
table. All right, I'll leave.
It's all about the experience.
What did you learn?
We're out about experience. Did you learn anything about yourself? I learned I can't use a saw. Me too. Now get out.
No one can take that from you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you don't have to pay workers' comp, I guess, if they are coming
no
to just...
W4.
That's
Yeah.
right.
If you're teaching them how to use the
You
saw.
seriously need to look at this business model. I'm liking it.
Organic is now a nonprofit.
I'll be a
You want
board
to be on the
member.
board? Who
Got
we need
you.
board members.
Mhm.
I'd ask Brian. He'd just
I don't want to be on the board.
Sure.
No.
Mhm.
You have to have 3.
I gotta have 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's a requirement by law.
Are you in?
Interesting. Yes. Sierra is here. Come over and say hi real quick. She does our show notes and she made it up into town. And she's going to jump on and say hi to y'all.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for listening.
And that's it. Thank you.
Good job. So
We're
Sierra,
so glad you came. Thank you.
she works very, very hard. Like, I've read the show notes only because I feel like I'm obligated to, because I know she went through the time of writing them.
Yes.
Good for you.
And sometimes I'm reading this and going, we really need to figure out what we're going to talk about before we do it, because we're idiots.
We'd have to
reading.
have somebody write that down for us.
Yeah.
I tried to do the first episode show notes, and I realized I'm not a writer and I am not a speller. So
Yeah.
we thank you very much. We
Yes,
couldn't do
thank
it
you
without
for what you do, Sierra.
And she's still working hard on that beef jerky. So if you know
Yes.
anybody that would like
Yes,
to
the
donate
beef jerky. Mhm.
and sponsor us,
That's right.
but not Oberto. We're not doing that one. You guys keep your beef jerky.
What's wrong with Oberto?
Garbage.
Garbage?
Yeah, I'll
No,
say
don't
that.
like it?
I'll
Okay.
say that.
All right.
That Wicked Cuts they sent me was really good. I don't know.
So Ben likes
good.
it. All right.
I did.
Alright,
I was a
whatever.
fan. All right, tell us more about the option. I guess when you were finding out about the businesses, what more are you involved with the small business revolution?
Yeah. So Deluxe actually reached out to all of the that's the company behind Small Business Revolution. Reached out to the 6 runners up, and they, I think, are doing something for everybody. So they helped me get my trademark. So I trademarked Make.Do, and I also trademarked Be Createful.
Oh.
So that's in process. TM.
Nice.
You're gonna throw a
So-
TM on the shirt.
Yeah.
That's really
So
cool.
I could, with a Sharpie, I guess we can
Yes.
write TM.
Oh, yeah.
But when it's trademarked, it'll get the R in the circle.
What does that do for you? I mean, nobody can
just
steal it from you, but
protect- I mean, they could.
Totally legit.
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely legitimizes you, I guess.
You can
And-
sue and get rich. No,
It just, I think, lets us protect the brand. So, and I came up with Be Createful.
Yeah.
So, I'm actually surprised it wasn't a thing already, but it wasn't. So yeah, we'll get Be Createful and then Make.Do.
Yeah.
And then you asked about the Revolution Fund.
Mhm.
That's kind of on hold for me until I'm in a new space, because a lot of what I would need would maybe be like exterior or signs or something. So we're just going to hold off on that for a second.
Awesome.
Is there any signage in front of the building for you right now?
Yeah. Yes. I
you're in a
made our
weird-
signs,
Okay.
and I did not. They're made out of plywood, but we didn't seal them. And so
And they're
now they're
outside?
like all warped. Yeah.
Well, we know some woodworkers who could probably make
Yeah.
something
We could
good
probably
for you.
rock, something
Yeah.
like that.
but we
I'll
were,
tell you what,
we're doing it on the
You
cheap.
teach me how to use that CAT, what we're using, computer-aided drafting.
We used Revit.
Revit. You teach me how to use Revit.
Mm-hmm.
So go home, watch some YouTube
Watch some
videos,
YouTube.
and I will make you a sign. I think we could do that.
Never heard of Revit.
So I
before.
painted them.
What is
Painted
Revit
signs.
exactly?
It stands for Revise Instantly. That's
Okay.
where Revit comes from. And it's what they use. It's what most places use now. So it's a building. I'm going to get this wrong. It's been a while since I taught the class.
Yeah.
It's a building system. I mean, you can do everything in 3D and all
Okay.
at once versus AutoCAD that just draws 2D.
Okay. Gotcha.
And
got
then you have to like extrapolate or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in Revit, you tell it when you're putting in a wall. You say this is the type of wall and this is how tall it is.
So kind of like SketchUp a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're building a house in Revit? Is that what it's mainly for?
Or
Homes.
you can build anything. Yeah, you can build anything.
Build whatever
Okay.
you want.
Well,
Like I think engineers can use it for, like we can make this microphone in Revit.
Cool.
okay. Yeah,
Nice.
it's a 3D modeling
Yeah, it
program. I
sounds
guess.
like-
okay.
Yeah.
SketchUp or Fusion.
Good. Well, you need to make me some models for my 3D printer. We'll print them out.
For what?
I don't know. We can make the lemon or your
Like, I don't
Oh,
really want to do that.
Okay, I was thinking
model
like
people.
for like
Yeah, no, I don't
for an interior design class.
We made a 3D model of a room and put a couch in it. No.
I just meant an object of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're nerds, and so we made an Optimus Prime. Well, he did,
I did.
and it looks
I
pretty
printed
awesome.
out Optimus Prime.
Look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's what we do.
Cody, give us an update on the show stuff going on for you, because a lot has happened this week.
Yeah. So, and today was the final filming for Organic.
You done?
Yeah, we're done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good job.
It's pretty sad.
Bittersweet.
It's, mostly bitter. I mean, these people, like, Deluxe is awesome. I love the people at Deluxe. They've done a phenomenal job. But, like, Flow Nonfiction, the production company, they're just really awesome people. It's a collective group of people. Director Matt Naylor. It's just, I don't know, they're just really cool people. And they've been doing this for so long. They have a really good, like, just cohesive motion to things. Like, it's just very smooth, a lot of nonverbal communication, just really getting stuff done. And for me to see that, it was just like, wow, that's just awesome. Like, they just have this down, and they're just super easy to work with, and it was good having them around, honestly. So
I drove by today and I saw your side shop open, and they were measuring a measure tape from the camera.
Yeah.
What was going on?
So they did the before shots of the space on a track,
Oh,
and then so they just had to
Recreate that.
mimic it with everything in it now.
was the
So-
before it was just empty, I guess,
Yeah,
and
before
now
it
it's
was
got all the
just-
tools and stuff.
Tools and,
Yeah.
and the concrete's fixed and the walls are up and stuff like that.
Right.
They did too.
I thought they'd do the before in your garage.
Yeah.
Oh, they did that too.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. But I mean, that was like pan. Okay, we're good. That's where we're at. So yeah, you know, when you move into like 3,500 square feet, then it's like, okay, now we have to actually work.
Did they come do an after in your garage too, like with the cars back in?
No.
No, I went over the other day. They still got random stuff, like just a box here and a box there. No cars in the garage.
Hey, that's not on
How
me.
do you have a garage and not park a car in it?
I'm not parking a car in it. That's for Megan to do.
Hmm.
I wasn't gonna park my truck in there. I mean,
It's a 2-car garage.
It's chivalry, man. All right, I was letting my wife park in there first.
Good for you.
And has she?
No. Just because I let her doesn't mean she's gonna do anything like I want her
You
to
need
do.
to clean it up so she can put it in.
Yeah.
Well, can I come park my car in your garage?
Yeah, for real.
It's too hot
First
to
of
leave
all-
your car out right now.
So your apartment
Mm-hmm.
is on Main Street, right?
Mhm.
And the only reason I know this is because you did the story with Amanda. Was I guess was at your
Yeah.
apartment on your
She
balcony?
came to my house.
Yeah, are you on a second floor on
Uh-huh.
something on there?
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Glass from the Past is below you, right?
Mhm.
And so
You live above Glass from the
Well,
Past?
I live next to and above Glass from the Past.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So you are downtown.
If there's any creepy people listening to this podcast,
gosh. We need to
don't
edit
come
this
find
out.
me.
Never mind.
Just hear
That's
that
okay.
weird
I
breathing.
Insta story from there anyways.
Yeah.
It's geotagged.
Just geotags.
This is where I am.
So I was just thinking, I was like, I had
There's
no
a big
idea.
mural across the street from me.
Art Alley will put your address.
Yeah.
Follow these
This
arrows.
is why I
Keep
live
painting
off the
arrows.
grid.
That's
I
true.
don't need people looking me up.
Hey, speaking of, I tried to call you and your phone went right to. This person has.
happened.
This person has no minutes and cannot answer the phone.
I live in 1994 and I add minutes manually every
You
month
have
to
a
my
minute
phone. I
plan.
don't have a data plan. I don't want
But
to.
you know,
you don't have a phone
In
plan.
Ireland, you don't
Sure.
have to have minutes to receive a call.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, it
So
was
you can
America.
receive
So
calls
really,
for free.
he's
Interesting.
ignoring for being.
No,
Yeah,
I
that
did
might be
not
what it
ignore.
is.
No.
Do you get free minutes in the evenings
I have
still?
no idea.
Is that still a thing?
I remember that.
8 o'clock.
Dude, yeah, I remember that. Like, I'd be like, oh, I
At
can't
9
call
p.m.?
anybody until like 9.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
Sarah, how old are you?
I'm 23.
You don't remember those
She's like,
days.
what are these idiots
Hey,
talking
okay,
about?
Let's go. Let's take that back. I remember dial-up. I remember
Okay.
not making a call from the home phone.
Okay, good.
My
Good for
mom
you.
had a Nokia like brick.
Brick
Oh,
phone,
everyone has that
absolutely
Nokia.
indestructible.
The like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with. There was nothing wrong with those
Oh, okay,
things.
here we
They
go.
had no updates, no
Bride's
operating system above like
Bride's
basic
gone.
binary. And like now, drug runners will pay hundreds of dollars for them because they're untraceable and they never die.
Yep.
Okay. So why did we have to leave that? Sorry.
My microphone's about
Take
to
it-
fall off the table.
Take a breath.
A little passionate.
Sorry, guys.
the man loves his Nokia.
You need to do some yoga with Brian. over there.
Yeah.
Calm him down.
Yeah. Come on.
Teach him some poses.
Namaste, bro. Namaste.
Brian, what have you been up to in the
Uh,
art world since our class?
Okay. Well, so a couple of things. The guys that all went in together and bought me my iPad,
Yeah.
I made a bunch of loot boxes for them and filled it with 3D printed boxes, and I forget what else, and free art, and what else did I put in there? I put a bunch of artwork and 3D printed sculptures, and I threw it at them. Basically, if I was close enough, like here in town, like I would find them and I threw it at their heads, and then I mailed the rest to the other people that were not in town. So that was my thank you to them.
So you completed a
should have known
project.
better. Yeah, I actually completed a
That's
project.
amazing.
I did. And I went up a mountain with my brother on his bachelor trip because his idea of a bachelor party is going up a mountain and almost freezing to death. And I took a wood plaque with me up there because I wanted all of us to sign it and give it to him at the wedding, but we didn't make it to the top because there was
Where did you go?
5 feet of snow on our way. It was Pecos Baldy Mountain in New Mexico.
And was it in the Pecos Wilderness?
It's past Pecos Canyon, so
Okay.
yes, I think so. Have you been
Yeah.
out there?
We
Yeah?
used to go camping there because I grew
Oh.
up in West Texas.
Oh, well,
And
okay.
I went on my first backpacking trip when I was 9
You're kidding.
with my daddy. We went probably 4 miles.
And she went to
4 miles.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's 4 miles is good.
I mean,
And for a 9-year-old?
And then he taught me how to play gin.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Did you go to the top?
No,
Oh.
Didn't climb
because
any
we didn't
peaks
climb
up
anything.
there?
No, because
Okay.
I was like, well, we walked yesterday.
Nah, there you go.
And then we played gin in the tent.
Yeah.
Played gin.
And then I collected pine cones and
Oh, yeah.
threw them into the fire.
That's nice.
And then we
Yeah.
left.
Very nice.
I'm surprised there was snow up there. I don't know why I didn't think it would be.
Historically, it's usually gone by, when was that? Mid-June? What's today?
Late June.
This is late June. I'm sorry, it was early-ish June. So I mean, we were taking our chances, but there was still way more than there should have been. Like we came across signposts 5 feet tall, and we barely saw the top of them.
Really?
And we knew
Wow.
that we were in deep because we kept
How
falling
high
through
were,
it.
what was your elevation? Do you know?
The peak is at 12,530. My brother and I made it we broke 12,000. We got to about 12,100. And then it was past noon and he was like, this is stupid. This is dangerous. We're turning around right now.
Yeah.
So we did.
I gotta get married, boys.
Yeah, that's what he was thinking.
Mhm.
And then I thought, all right, I'm married, 3 kids. I should probably turn around. But,
If
so
I die up here, she's gonna kill me.
that's what he thought. Yeah.
Again.
So.
You're going to have to wait for the snow to thaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will be back, but it will be in late June or early July.
That's the time to go because it's miserable here.
Yes,
Yeah,
today was
You're right.
miserable.
It's gross right here.
Man, I just left the shop. I don't have AC.
He does not have AC. It's
I don't know
terrible.
how you do that.
It's the best weight loss program ever. It's like I get
you
to
are
work,
pretty thin and
I
trim.
get to work in a sauna.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I mean,
That's his TV body.
Yes.
Yeah.
There it is.
that's from my broga.
So,
And you're gonna be on one episode. Is that?
Yeah,
That's
if I'm
typically
lucky.
they do an
If
episode
I'm lucky,
per-
I'll be on one
They
episode.
filmed enough.
You get a whole
Doing a whole
episode.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They might just edit me out,
Mm.
and it'd be a lot of organic
so this is organic. We don't know who works here.
interviews with Megan, and then like the sign again, and then interviews with Megan, and then
there
like
you go.
a quick
Quick shot of you
me
sanding something, and then
yeah, sign again.
Yeah.
So the first episode will be the 12.
Yes.
Oh,
and
you're on. You're in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
What
And
what
then-
do they do? They come to your shop or
They came to my shop after I found out I was not one of the businesses to make
so
it.
you're sitting over there like
So it was weird.
So when did they come? That day, right? That we were all supposed to be shooting B-roll.
They came on Friday to tell me,
Yeah.
but you don't know if you made it or not. It was very stressful. I wish they would have told me before. I just wish,
Yeah.
because
They didn't tell you, right? They just showed
No.
up and
No.
said, "Hey, surprise!"
and because they want you to be surprised, so I understand why they
Sure.
don't say, "Hey, if you don't make it, we'll let you know," because then you would
Yeah.
know by default. But
Ratings.
I wish they would have scheduled a time with me regardless, so you know, okay, they're gonna come
Yeah.
in at some time during this. Because I mean,
you're on
because
edge.
you're by yourself too, like you just have to
Yeah.
be available.
That's it.
And then you're scared to go to the bathroom. Like, what if they come right now and I'm in the bathroom?
I was the last stop. I was right before everybody went downtown. And
5:30 and it started at 6.
Yeah.
All right.
So they were like, yeah, we'll be there around 5:30. So 5:30, a camera guy and one of the producers show up, and I was like,
Gosh.
okay. And
So they
then-
did schedule with you for that day.
Yeah. Did they? Like,
No.
well, no.
See, they scheduled
They
my
said-
B-roll for Saturday. So then I was like, that means I didn't win. And then she said, well, not necessarily. And I was like,
Make up your mind.
ugh.
Are you a little bitter still?
No, not at all.
It just,
I-
does
I
it
just-
hurt seeing Cody over
No. It's okay. I'm over it.
there?
I was very like, so like 5:30 rolled around or whatever, and I was like, okay. And then the camera guy and them showed up, and I was like, well, I didn't make it.
Hmm.
I was like, well, whatever, I'm cool. I'm a guy in his garage. I made it to the top 12.
There you go.
When I got picked for the top 30, I thought it was like, oh no, I thought the picture of the house didn't go through where I circled the garage.
They
And
think
I
you're-
was-
This is all a mistake.
I'm
and
really
so-
legit.
And so, like, when like they were like, "Oh, you made the top 30," I was like, "Oh man, they're gonna be so mad because I took somebody's spot." And then they show up, and I was like, "It's a garage," and like Cam and Julie were like, "Yeah, we know," and I was like, "All right, that's weird." You know? And so then the top 12, and like I was the first one to go in for the interview too.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm just like, either A, they just made me come to the top 12 to be like, make it an easy decision for the next 11 that they have to choose from. And because I've seen the other episodes,
Yeah.
like, they didn't pick anybody everybody they picked had like a storefront and like was already kind of doing it.
They were established.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not me.
It was rather atypical, wasn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty nuts.
Broke
And
the
then
mold.
That first interview, like, it was very stressful. Like,
Because did you go in there by yourself?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like,
And they just had the lights on you. It's very weird because
I felt like I was being interrogated.
Hmm.
kind of like in here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Who are
But
you?
then-
What are you doing for a
But
living?
then there's all these people in the shadows.
In the shadows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes
And
it
so-
creepy.
Well, and I kept interacting with them. And I don't think we were supposed to.
She's like, look at the camera.
But it just felt
Do not talk to the
weird.
man behind the curtain.
Yeah. And then it feels awkward, so you make a joke. And then you're like, that's funny, right? So,
No,
yeah.
we have a job.
Did
to
they come
do.
over and powder you and do you
No,
all up
they
and
didn't-
stuff?
No.
No?
They only did it to me
Mm-mm.
once. And it was actually in Minnesota. And it's because the camera guy said, do you guys see that? And they're like, what? And I guess there was like this eyebrow hair that was like doing this thing. And they're like, yeah, we see it, but we didn't know what to say anything. And I was like, what are you guys looking at?
What's
Like,
wrong with
and
that?
it was just an eyebrow hair. So like the makeup lady came over and she like did my eyebrows. Like on set.
Wow.
Tweezed them
Megan
off.
was laughing so hard. So I've never I don't know, I'm a guy. I've never done my eyebrows. And so I had my eyebrows done for the first time in Minnesota too. There's been a lot of experiences.
What happened last night? Was it last night? Saturday?
Was it Beats and Eats?
Beats and Eats?
Yeah.
Or last night? I left at like 6. So I got my say cheese, fried cheese, and left.
You were right next to Make.Do's booth.
I saw the booth. I didn't see you.
I was probably hiding behind my social
I'm
buffers.
by myself this weekend. That's true. I'm by myself this weekend with 2 boys. I was just trying to not lose them. So, and I was hunting for the cheese.
Yeah.
But what happened last night? Did you all go on stage or anything? You had tents set up and they just...
No, they had tents for us to set up. And like, I don't do tents. Like I have not done like a Beats and Eats as far as like the makers fairs or things like that.
Yeah.
Because I do custom furniture, not,
Right.
It's like, yeah, let me bring in this
You didn't
table.
haul in your custom furniture?
Yeah, haul in a
outside?
hutch or whatever. And so, but I just made a bunch of cutting boards.
Cool.
Brought them. And
There you go.
I gave more away than I sold, obviously.
Yeah.
I have a problem with giving stuff away.
That's true. Mhm.
Yeah, it's your
It was a weird one. I don't think there weren't as many people as the first.
No.
Because it was hot.
And
No,
because the first time everyone wanted to see who the 6
Yeah.
actresses were.
It's true.
And then
And
now
I was like,
everyone was
or
hot.
everybody went the first time and was like, okay, I didn't get on TV too in the crowd or whatever.
Mhm.
What do you when you have a booth at one of these and you don't sell stuff?
Mhm.
What are you trying to do?
Well, it's been a bit of an evolution. So at first, I did sell stuff. So I made little earrings because I had more time. I wasn't teaching as many classes, so I would sell things. I always have class samples out. So like I don't know if y'all saw the city, like the Cersei t-shirt quote that I did. It's got like shirts from Sorry.
Break the microphone.
I'm so excited about
She
this
gets
quote.
excited.
Bagged it. It was like,
you can't see it, but
It's
she
got,
talks with her hands.
Shirts. Well, if you watch on YouTube,
Yeah,
you can
that's right.
see it.
definitely
That's right.
watch.
It's got shirts from all over Cersei. Anyway, so I had that out. We just launched a new fundraising campaign. So podcast people, we're trying to increase our monthly support by $1,000 a month. So I launched.
How do they, if they're listening on the podcast and they want to help you out, where can they
I'll
find
tell
you?
So the campaign slogan is "Be part of the big picture." Get it?
yeah.
And so we're trying to increase by $1,000 a month. And the way we're showing that is we've got 200 lemons, and each lemon represents $5. So I think a lot of people think $1,000, like I can't give $100 a month, but really $5 a month makes a difference. Like it goes into the pitcher, and then as everyone gets involved, the pitcher gets filled up. So you can donate on my website, Make.Do.create.org. You can also send me an email if you want bank draft, and I can send you a form to do that. Or online, on the website, it's through PayPal. So we had that out there last night, and with a pretty sign and a pitcher and 200 lemons. Well, actually only 64 lemons because I bought them all at Hobby Lobby, and they had to order me more lemons.
Took all the lemons from Hobby Lobby.
I did.
Well, at least we have a Hobby
When
Lobby.
Hobby
in the
Lobby
store
gives you
now.
lemons,
You steal them all.
buy them all.
Do you have a revolving account there?
I should.
Yeah.
I don't know. They act like maybe they don't want to embarrass me that they haven't already seen me 3 times in one day.
Let's not make this awkward and weird.
Yeah. We all know I was already here.
What makes you get
That's
a
funny.
.org instead of a .com?
Well, because
you're
of
a
the
nonprofit?
nonprofit.
Yeah. Organization.
Yeah.
Okay.
Company.
I didn't know what the difference was there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's confusing. You guys can give me your opinion. Well, I can't change it, but you can still give me your
You
opinion.
can change it.
Because Make.Do was already taken. So it's Make.Do Create. But then a lot of people think that the name of my business is Make.Do Create.
But it's
But
only
it's
Make.Do.
just Make.Do. And then on Instagram, because like all the forms of just Make.Do are taken. So then I had to get creative and add the create. And I don't know. I'm not convinced that I like it.
I had to change on Etsy because I'm Myers Woodshop on everything, but on Etsy somebody already had Myers Woodshop, so I had to be Ben Myers Woodshop. That drives me nuts, but people still find me.
Yeah.
I don't.
Is Make.Do taken?
Wow.
Like,
I'm just saying, like, add
Here.
Make to it. No?
stopped up, eat your veggies, make doo-doo. Like that?
Do lemons help with that?
I don't know. Prunes do.
Yeah. Just have for it.
Change the lemon to a
Change the
prune.
prune.
Make do.
Make do.
Hilarious.
You can
Here we
donate
go.
at Make.Do.
Mhm.
Help us make doo-doo.
Help fill the bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how to transition out of this.
Yeah.
Something.
Just
I think
I'm
Make Do
sorry.
Create is fine.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that would. I actually, even if that you told me it's Make Do, I still.
Especially if you're working
Wouldn't have
in
known.
createful with your brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me.
Okay.
If one day you have the opportunity, of course, snag it.
Yeah.
What? I don't know what I was gonna say.
Well, what have you been up to?
I have been up to nothing.
Nothing?
No.
You done
I have
anything
not
for that
made-
giant sign we're supposed to be working
No, I'm waiting
on?
for you.
Because I'm painting. You're just waiting on me. Okay.
There's nothing left to do. We're making
No,
a giant
you're right,
sign, so
yeah.
I got a guy who wanted to make a big sign for his place, and I'm CNC'd out everything. And I asked Brian before I said yes. I said, "Hey, I'm not a painter. I don't want to paint. I hate it. I'm not an artist." I said, "Hey, I'll do all the wood stuff if you paint the thing. Would you go halves with me and do that?" He said, "Yeah." So that's what we did. So I did all my part, and I gave it to him and said, "Paint." And
No, I'm painting.
waiting on Brian.
Sherwin-Williams is not exactly being the most
Color matching-
helpful. Color matching is not. It's a complete fraud. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm never doing this again.
okay, well there you go. Color matching a picture in paint
Mm.
is near impossible. I
Well,
guess.
even when I don't want to be overly negative here, but we had a formula, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
was given to us.
Yes, we had the formula
We got
that
it
was good.
duplicated by professionals.
Right.
It is not the same color.
It's not the same color.
It's not.
No. So heads up, if you ever color match off a picture,
Well,
It
because
dries
doesn't the
different.
type of color, the type of paint matters too, right? Like
possibly,
if
but
it's
we got
oil
the
or if
same.
it's latex or
Interior latex. That's
But we
all
got the
it was
exact
supposed to
same
be.
paint that the formula was made from.
Yeah.
That the formula
At a
was
Sherwin-Williams
good at a
store.
Sherwin-Williams,
Mm.
and it still doesn't translate.
And they told us that.
1,000 miles.
Right? They told you
He
or they
said,
told
yeah.
him. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
just be advised, even though we have this
Right.
formula, it may not look exactly alike.
Not
What's
even-
the point?
Yeah, I don't know. So apparently that's tough.
Yes. Tough to do.
Oh, you can.
I like it.
Are we doing okay?
Brian's
Yeah.
showing off
Okay.
his picture, looking good. The hair is
I mean,
really what.
Was it- hair and
what's
glasses.
What is that?
Cody,
called?
and you kind of have the same hair.
Quaff? Is that a quaff?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't know
so.
what it's called.
So Amanda was saying, "Oh, you got a pretty sweet quaff," and I was like, "I don't know."
What is that?
But that's what she. I guess
The
that's
front.
a quaff.
Because hers
Hair
is like always.
Yeah, she's got the
Yeah.
Do you notice she talks with her hands like this up a lot? Because I've been watching the season, and her hands are always up here. I think professional hosts use their
Mhm.
hands up. I don't know why.
Probably so you can see them. Because
Yeah.
if they're just down here,
Well,
Moving
draws
around.
then you just
attention,
see.
To
keeps
the
your
up.
attention to
Yes.
their face.
Because
Should I
then
do
you
that
just
in my
see a
YouTube
hand
videos
every
now?
and then.
No,
Talk like.
don't
Just
do
do
that.
Uh,
So,
Are you gonna put out any YouTube videos?
I don't know. Do you want to record some?
I mean,
YouTube
how else am
videos?
I
Yeah.
going to learn to sew?
No, I'm sure that exists. You could do so much on YouTube. Have you
Yeah.
ever considered any
No.
of that?
Doing content
I mean-
creation for Make.Do.
Yeah. The thing is,
Time.
the time.
Mhm.
It is a time. So.
For sure. Everything
Well,
takes
I
4
think your
times longer.
priority with community building and
Yeah.
everything right now is
Yeah.
it's more local anyway. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah. I think that where it would line up would be you don't live in Searcy, but you want to come, you want to be grateful with your people.
Online courses.
Here's a class.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Watch this, and you can teach a college class.
hmm
Maybe what if you go to the college and say, "Hey, I need an intern in interior design or web stuff," and say, "Come make YouTube videos for me."
Have you ever worked with the college students before?
I
No.
was one. I've
I
never
was one
worked.
too, but they are well intentioned,
Mm.
and then they get busy.
Sierra's like recommend against.
Mhm.
Yeah. The worst.
Yep. hmm
So
somebody
it's
out,
tricky.
somebody somewhere, not me, can do that full time for you. I know it. So maybe somebody listen and somebody get connected
Yeah,
and
well-
make some video. You have the content already there. It just has to be
Videography.
cut and filmed.
So you're looking at hiring.
We filmed a
right?
few hand embroidery tutorials.
Huh.
Elizabeth Reeves came and filmed them.
Where are they at?
They're just not.
Uh,
They're just, it gets busy. I haven't seen them.
They're on.
They
the
They might be
internet.
bad.
Okay.
I don't know.
Consider it though.
So
I think that
Yeah.
could be a way you could, once you reach the limit in Cersei, maybe to reach out farther,
Mhm.
or maybe franchise yourself somewhere. Have you thought about doing that at all?
Hmm.
You reach your limit in
listen,
Cersei and
I
move somewhere else?
think of doing it all.
Oh, you think of doing it all?
yeah,
Alright,
don't. I mean, but then you wake up and you think, what am I going to do today? And then you're so overwhelmed by all the things that
you have your
thought
panic
about.
attack, and then you go do
And then you're like, wait a minute, why am I panicked about franchising Make.Do? I should just worry about that. That's not a real thing yet.
Like, why am I panicking about something that hasn't happened?
Yeah.
Or isn't happening, and I'm just in my head. Yeah.
I do
It's hard.
that with my wife when the kids cough or something. She goes right to, they're sick. And I'm like, no, that's the last thing. And then they end up being sick.
And they get
but,
sick.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what else you can do.
It's on that list.
It's on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll need a year later.
Okay.
Come back, see where you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's
Sound
YouTube
good?
famous. She won't do this.
That's
podcast
true.
Anymore.
That's true.
Yeah, I would. Because I'll be like, this is where I started.
That's right. The OG.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, we're coming up on our hour here. So you have anything else you want to leave us with? Any other places you want people to go to find you? How do they sign up for your classes if they're listening?
Yeah, so you can sign up on the website, Make.Do.create.org. And if you don't live here, you can still come. You could definitely fit some sleeping bags in here. You can bring your sleeping bag, and you can come sleep
in my shop.
Ben's shop.
Yep.
And then you can come
That's
take
right.
the class
It's air
and Make.Do.
conditioned.
You have everything but a bathroom. You'd be good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now, if we have anybody that wants to volunteer to help you, especially like when you're doing these, like this camp over thing with the foster girls or whatever, is there a way or form that they need to fill out in order to be able to volunteer to help with Make.Do?
I have a Google survey that you can fill out. I don't know if it's on the website. I will get it on the website by the time this podcast airs.
And we will have the link on.
Okay.
Yes, we'll post it on our website, the buildguildpodcast.com, and we'll put it on.
And I'll put it on Organic Woodwork as well.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
You can come teach a class. You can come help prep a class. You can come.
What kind of classes
Assist a
could you
class.
teach? Are you wanting to branch out farther?
Yeah,
Like
I
into
mean,
anything?
we
if
can
it's
do.
a make something.
Make.Do does not have access to running water. So
Does it have to be in your building?
No.
Okay.
I haven't ever done one not in my building.
I have a warehouse where you can play like floor hockey.
Yeah.
Sweet.
There's no electricity,
There's no
Can we
electricity.
start fires in your window?
but we can totally start a fire. I got the wood.
So
Let me get that insurance first.
Yeah. Or maybe, well, yeah, you do want the insurance.
Yeah. So it's not limited to any.
No.
It's
So I don't have a sink, so we can't do anything. Like, we can't really do cooking classes or things that require water, like tie-dye or, stuff that we do watercolor, but we carry it up.
In a water bottle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we're a little limited right now.
So if there's anybody listening that has space that could somewhat, I don't know, just host a class.
Yeah. Oh, and we do private parties. So you can,
that's awesome.
if you want to have a createful shindig at Make.Do, you can.
We're gonna
shindig. Is that
that's
what it
what I
is?
call it, yeah.
That's
Can you
awesome.
give us, and I'm dead serious, a Build Guild party with our wives and our kids come and we all make something?
Yeah.
And then we'll post a picture about it.
Yeah.
I want to do that. I don't know what, but you can think of something.
We'll do it not in
That'll be
July.
cool.
No,
we'll
not
At some point,
Yeah.
when we can, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's our time. Thanks so much for coming
Thanks for having
and
me.
sharing
Yeah, thanks for
all
coming.
the
I was
amazing
gonna
stuff
Google
you're
a
doing.
bunch of like woodworking terms so that I could hang when y'all started talking about that.
Are you gonna YouTube it and teach the
Yeah. I did actually build myself a table, my coffee table. And
Good for you.
because I also needed something to sew on. So I built the top and then it's got pipe. And then I can flip it up and add more pipe to raise it. So
Post
I
a
can sew
picture on your Instagram. You're
But now it's like, a little.
Are you you're at Make.Do
Create.
at Make.Do Create.
Mm-hmm.
All right, at Make.Do Create. That's where you can find her, and maybe a picture of that.
Okay.
So I want to see it.
Yeah.
So, anything else you guys want to say?
No.
Anything for the week?
We're good.
Okay. All right. Thank y'all.
All right. Bye.
Good one.
Ciao.
See you later. Bye.